David, it's time for you to turn and burn in the sun. David here sent me up this. This would have been one of the last generations of the suite before they changed it to the little shoebox thing that they sell us now. This has got DEI transistors in it. But that's not what caused this problem. This is the output combiner for these these 4 transistors or these 2-pill sections. And what caused the problem is it got hot enough and this wire popped off. So you can see the RF, it comes in, goes through the relay, comes down, dumps, goes to this trace, comes to this splitter, and gets split evenly. Well, this wire is what goes over to this splitter, which splits the signal off and feeds these 2 boards. So this half of the amplifier effectively got turned off. It had no input RF whatsoever. So I'm sure he kept keying it, not realizing there was a problem because he didn't have meters in line, and ran these 4 transistors into the ground. Now, I think it's kind of become a universally accepted thing that the DEI transistor is junk. So David here is elected to have the HG2879s put in, which is not a big deal. So I'm going to change out the HGs. I'm going to rebuild his combiner network, which there's not a whole lot of it left. It's pretty freaking seed in there. But we'll make it like new. We have that technology. We do. And we'll make it run again. You change the input tune a little bit, change the output tune a little bit, and it'll come right up in watts. So, on that note, and I'll clean all that mess out of there. On that note, away we go. Well, David, you're all done, bud. David wanted me to put HGs in here. It had DEIs in it, so we took all the DEI garbage out, and we put HGs in here. I had to completely rebuild and replace the splitter board for this half of the box because it was completely black and melted down. The other thing, David, is that this relay that is in here melted and disintegrated on this side. So I very carefully, because this relay works on a rocker motion, there's a magnet in there and then a coil, and the relay rocks, goes chick, 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 chick. Well, this was melted to the point where the relay couldn't move, but the relay itself was fine, but the case was melted in and touching the relay. So went ahead and heated up the case, bent it out all nice and square again, made it so it fit. Cleaned all the burn schmew out of the inside of this thing. If you guys can remember from the first half, this whole section was jet black. Trying to shoot a video, man. It was jet black. Jet black. So we got that all fixed. He did the power wire upgrade, so I built a little bus bar back here to hold on to all the power wires, because they have figured out, finally, in this last generation of suites, that the fuses were holding back too much current, and they just did away with it. And they had the 4 wires running out, and you had this ugly little pigtail on the back. So I fixed that. Let's see, what else? Oh, yeah. So rebuilt the combiner, replaced the resistors on the 2 input resistors that were smoked down and burn up refried dog turds. And then I went to testing, and the first thing I noticed right away is these 2 transistors popped. Boop! And I went, oh, why? There was something wrong with the bias circuit for sideband, and it was putting 2.5 full volts on the input circuit and was burning the transistors up. So I went ahead and rebuilt the bias circuit, got that back down, and ended up having a bad capacitor in it, a bad load resistor that was in it, the sandstone load resistor that actually knocks down the 12 volt. It was bad, and it was open, so it was letting full 12 volts in, and it was killing these 2 transistors. So put 2 more HGs in there, modified the bias circuit. Then I went and I did an input tune on it, so I had to add some capacitance on the input, had to delete some capacitance on the output. The box came right to life. Pretty simple. David, let's run around a band. 1000 watt slug in PEP, 1000 watt in average, 5 watt slug in reverse, back from the Bird 10,000 watt dummy load. We're going to use the 2950, 5 watt slug between the 2950 and the amplifier. We're going to use a 2-pill bench amplifier, and we're going to drive it into the suite. And we're going to loaf about 200 watts into this box, and we're going to get about 15 and some change out. It's that simple. We're going to run on 14 volts. So let's get started. So right now we're on the 1,000 watt mark. Hello. Oh yeah, I got the mic gain all the way down. Oh, let's turn the mic gain back up. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. Putting 20 watts of peak power in it. Turn the amp on. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. About 800 peak. Hello, audio. About 300 bird. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. And about 1/8 of watt of reflect. So now ahead, we're going to go ahead and turn this off. Or turn this on. And I got to come up here and I got to turn my mic gain way down. Hello. Still too high. Hello. Still too high. Hello. Too far. Hello. So we're going to peak about 200 watts into your 666, Sweet 16, David. So take this up to 2x. As we all know, right there on that 1,000, right there, and the 50, a little hash mark, right there, 1,000 watts, 12, 14, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, so 200 watts of drive. Hello, hello, audio, hello, audio, hello, audio. We're getting 14 some change out of it. Let's reach up here and turn our mic gain up a little bit. Hello, audio. Hello, audio. It's back styling and profiling, man. You're getting 15 some change depending on how loud the radio is that you put into it. I'd probably keep the drive around 200, 250 watts at the most. It does about 1,300 watts with a 120 watt radio with the Connex running it. So on that note, David, you're done, brother. I'm going to put the tin on it and it's going to be out the door to you tomorrow. Gentlemen, my name is BBI, and without a shadow of a doubt, I am the biggest mud duck in Idaho. Come check us out. Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram. Go to my webpage, follow the links. It's that simple. Gentlemen, another one down in the history books. HG conversion. We'll see ya.